Hi, this is Garden Girl Nancy Damiano with another episode of Scrap Your Stash brought to you by twopieseinabucket.com. On today's episode, I'm going to attempt to make a dent in my really large snap collection. I originally bought all of these products with the intention of starting Project Life in the fall. But what I've come to realize is that no matter how cool I think Project Life is, I just don't have the kind of discipline for this type of photo day project. I can't even really commit to a photo layout a week because that type of deadline driven project would really stress me out. So now what am I going to do with this small mountain of products I have? Plus all the new photo freedom products I have my eye on. It just seems like every manufacturer came out with their version of Project Life products, and I think they're really cool and I want to incorporate them into my scrapbook. I came across a thread on the two-piece message board recently where the idea of using the divided page protector style for quickly scrapbooking hundreds of vacation photos was being discussed. So that got me thinking about my Disney vacation album and how easy it would be to use this format. Let me walk you through my project and show you what I did. Now, to start the project, the first thing I had done was have my 4x6 photos printed, about 125 out of the few hundreds that I took. These were my favorites. And then at home, I only printed a handful of enlargements and really small photos to add. I gathered my memorabilia and my snap collection stash, some enamel dots for texture, and only one thicker font, and some page protectors. That's all you need to get started. Now this is my title page. I used one of my enlargements that I printed at home, and I used the top 4x6 to put our title and our name, the date at the bottom, and a few enamel dots to add some texture. On the following page, you can see that I just slipped in 3 of my 4x6s, and I used this large space for all of my journaling. I'd rather use the large space than a lot of tiny spaces like the traditional Project Life format uses, just to keep it looking different from Project Life. I want it to look more like a scrapbook. And these great pockets, I layered one on top of the other, and they hold my fast pass, receipts, maps, and they also break up all the 4x6 photos. On the other side, you can see that I placed a third small pocket, and placed my room key and my PhotoPass key. And here we have a funny story about the Speedway, where I journaled at the top. I added some washi tape right from the Snap collection. I dressed up each of those Polaroids, and I added the Speedway just to personalize it and make it more like a scrapbook. This page features more Magic Kingdom photos of my son at the Pirates League, almost all 4x6, with the exception of this small tiny picture here and the other one on. This is a 6x8 snap album page that I used here for the journaling and to dress it up a little bit. The holes match up to the We Are Memory Keepers albums perfectly. And those are just some little touches that I added. One enamel dot. Everything else you see is from the Snap collection, except for the Pirate's Life. That's my one thicker font. And then on the other side, I used another pocket. These are more receipts. Here I've lost one of my Mickey heads. I did 3 for the folks in my family. And those are the kind of little touches you want to add. They don't take a lot of time, and yet they really personalize the album. I used this strip to add a few more tiny photos. It's a great way to add photos that didn't really turn out that great. These were indoor. They're really important because I love this story. Photos not so much, but printing them out so tiny really helped. I used this long border strip right from the Snap collection, as well as the Hello sticker. Now it looks like a silhouette, but it's not. And the journaling card is the what, when, who, and where. Here's another of the 6x8 album pages that I used. I personalized it. It came with the camera and the O snap, and then I used stickers to decorate it and personalize it with Mickey heads and the first initial of my family's names. On the other side, this came as a top 10 pre-printed. The numbers down the left and that top 10 were pre-printed, and then I used Jelly Bean Soup Alpha Bean alphabets to fill out the top 10 things that our family loved the most. And I added a few enamel dots. They look like candy almost on this page in the center of the O's. Now here I printed this 8x10 out, and I wanted to add something fun, and so I added glitter and some large circles as my confetti and a sticker, Magic Kingdom. At the top, I sealed it with regular Scotch tape and then went over it with some washi tape. Now, I left the back side blank and just added pattern paper, but now thinking back on it, I think I would have added a nice photo collage. I like these 9 pocket page protectors, especially for parade photos. Here I also added some vellum letters that spell out parade. They're not stuck down, so I can easily slip them in and out of the album at any time. I can still see through them. They give me a title, and it adds another element, more of scrapbooking and less of project life. Now this is what I've completed so far. This took me about 45 minutes after I printed out the pictures, some of the pictures and the journaling. And this will become part of my regular album. Here I also have some regular scrapbook pages, including the cover, the title page that I'm also going to make on this video. And I plan to divide the book up into sections instead of having a day-by-day format. So I'll have a section for the Magic Kingdom, one for Epcot, one for Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and then I'll probably add the hotel, character meals, and then another section for miscellaneous. And I think that will tell my whole story, get my memorabilia, my 4x6 photos all ready. Probably it'll take me about 4 hours to do, and it'll be complete. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to do additional scrapbook pages. I will on this trip, and getting it down in this divided page protector style and getting it done quickly frees me up to do more creative stuff with my pages without having to worry that the story is not being told and that my family doesn't have an album they can flip through. Now let's take a look at how this traditional scrapbook page came together using more products from my Snap collection stash. Let's take a quick look at my Snap collection. I have this great sticker sheet with days of the week. Initially, I thought I was going to use these solid pattern papers with a great notebook print on the back. But I knew I was going to start with this calendar. I wanted to do a day-by-day Disney to document. Enamel dots, and then some great alphabet stickers from Snap. I use these a ton. And Jelly Bean Soup Alpha Beans, and the thicker font that I used. Now I love these stickers, and I use them throughout the album. They have icons and all kinds of great things. They're very versatile. Now we're going to start out with this day by day. Now my trip did end up being Sunday through Saturday, which is really convenient. If yours doesn't, you could always add the second page and say your trip was Wednesday to Wednesday. You can do that. Or you can use these stickers and change the days at the top of the page really easily. The file folder ones actually fit. Now I'm going to start with the number 6 because we were there 6 days. And I knew I wanted that to be part of my title. I center it more or less. And I'm going to write out Disney Days. Now I chose this font in particular because I think it's whimsical and it just fits the theme, and it's actually white and the paper's cream, but I think that it still matches okay because there are bits of white in the pattern paper and it stands up off of the cream. Now next I printed out some pictures that would fit the width of these columns. I'm not going to use the boxes exactly the way they're printed, so I made these a little bit longer. They're like 2.5 by 1, and one represents each day of our trip. I used some of my favorite photos here. And now I'm going to label each day what park we visited on each day. Starting with Epcot. I moved the photos down a little bit because it was getting a little crowded up there between the Disney days and then the second font with the days of the week. The pictures just look better, just a little bit lower. Now I'm just adding initials in the uppercase font with the snap alphabet and then the alpha beans on the bottom in a shade of the same color. Here I've completed all my 5 days in the park. I've chosen words. Maybe I couldn't spell out Hollywood. I needed 5-letter words, so some say movie and lions for Animal Kingdom. Now I've gone ahead and printed out my journaling on vellum. And on this journaling is the park that we visited, where we ate, and some funny memories from each day. I needed a good way to attach them to the page. And so I used this washi tape stickers that were included in the Snap Collection sticker icon packs. And it was just a really quick and easy way to match up the colors. I added a little bit of a dot print here and get that vellum down. Now that I'm happy with the subtitles, I am going to go ahead and start gluing all the pictures down in a row. Now I need to start filling in some of these blocks, so I'm going to go through some of my icon stickers and see what I can do to fill in the blocks without taking away from the pictures. And I like these word bubbles. Photos for the hundreds of photos that I took. And a heart because I love Disney. and that really frames out the photo row on the top and doesn't leave me with an unbalanced row. Now looking at these spots, they look very empty, and the idea I had was to continue with the words and the font. Now Sunday was the day we arrived, so I'm going to use an abbreviation for our hotel, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I'm going to get that down with sort of a tan color. So it doesn't have the bright pop of all the parks that I have highlighted in the middle, but it's still there and it adds text and repetition to that row. Now this last little block here, I'm going to add the abbreviation code for the airport that we fly into when we go home. It's EWK for Newark, and it's really appropriate because Saturday is the day we went home. Further telling the story is that photo of my son right above with a little smirk on his face. And then I'm just going to write out home right underneath. And then that's the little bookend for my row of titles. No need to explain underneath with lots of writing. Now this block right here looks a little empty to me, so I think I'm going to continue with the word bubbles, and I'll add a little pop of orange there. Now some enamel dots for some texture. I'm going to frame out this number 6 here up at the top. That's going to add a little pop of color and a circular shape to the top. That just adds a little bit more interest. We'll add a center into this camera. And then one more detail at the bottom. I want to add the year and the date. I'm going to use aqua, and I just showed you how I'm going to repeat the aqua that's in Epcot, the aqua that's in the number 6. I'm going to repeat that same aqua color at the bottom. And I chose that rather than any other color to complete this visual triangle of color, and that'll lead your eye through the page. Now I want to add one more little detail, and I'm going to decide to add some enamel dots here, and I just used 3 circles to make my iconic Mickey head shape, and the page is complete. I hope that both the traditional scrapbook page and the Project Life project have given you some ideas on how to make a dent in your Snap Collection stash. Until next time, thanks for watching.